Hey people, welcome back to my channel. So today it's all about buka stew. Buka stew is basically palm oil stew that are served at local restaurants, or should I say at buka joints in Nigeria. The stew is very straightforward and simple to make, but it just requires patience. So to cook buka stew, it's very important to use palm oil. It's like a necessity. You can't compromise this at all in this dish, because buka stew is different from normal regular Nigerian stew like chicken stew, and that you can just use vegetable oil for. So if you're not a big fan of palm oil, then you can use half palm oil and half vegetable oil, but obviously I would just recommend to use palm oil because that's the whole point of buka stew. So anyway, before I show you the ingredients you will need, I'm gonna bleach the palm oil first. For the size of the pepper and tomato that I'll be using for this recipe, I'm gonna be using 1.5 cup of oil. If you're not a big fan of having a lot of oil in your stew, you can just reduce this to your preference, but when I'm done cooking, you can see that 1.5 cup of oil is actually perfect for this recipe, well, for the size of stew that I'm trying to achieve. But obviously, if you're not a big fan, you can just reduce it. So bleaching the palm oil actually gives a really nice flavor to your stew. So to bleach the palm oil, just pour the oil into a pot and cover it. So for the whole process of bleaching the oil, you're basically just gonna leave it there and not open the pot, because that could be dangerous. It could splash everywhere and we don't want that. So leave it on high heat for 10 minutes. And after 10 minutes, reduce it to medium heat to bleach for another 5 minutes, and then after that you just set it aside to cool down, with the pot still covered, by the way. And once it's cooled down, this is what it looks like. So I'm just gonna set it aside and show you guys the other ingredients that I'll be using for this stew. So with this stew, you don't need a lot of tomatoes. I use more bell peppers, satache, than actual tomatoes. As you can see here, I have 5 red bell peppers, 3 tomatoes, 2 onions, 3 Scotch bonnets. Obviously, you can reduce or add more Scotch bonnets to your own preference depending on how spicy you want it. And today I'm doing the assorted meat buka stew, which means that you can add as many different types of meat as you want. I have some shaki here, some goat meat, beef, some pomo, cow skin, and that's pretty much all I'm using. You can add other types of meat of your choice, obviously. And also, in terms of seasoning your buka stew, it's just basically salt and seasoning cubes that you need. You don't need other seasonings like curry, thyme and garlic and things like that. So the other ingredients I'll be using are seasoning cube, salt, meat stock and some water. So that's pretty much all I'm using. So let's get started. To start off, I'm just splitting the oil. I'm gonna save some aside, only like a small portion of it, because I'm gonna be adding it to the stew later on. So I just reheat the oil, and here I'm using the bleached palm oil to fry the meat, because it added a really nice flavor to it. If you've never tried using bleached palm oil to fry your meat, I think you should try it, because it tastes really good and it gives like a really nice different taste to the regular vegetable oil that we normally use to fry our assorted meats. So yeah, give it a try, let me know what you think. So I'm gonna fry it for like 10 minutes, and whilst I fry the meat, I blended the pepper mixture. So sorry guys, I lost the clip when I was blending the peppers. So I basically just used a normal blender, blended the pepper mixture with some water until it is really smooth. Using the same oil I used to fry the meat, I'm gonna use this to cook the stew as well. I just basically added the pepper mixture to the oil and add the meat stock and water straight away. So now the stew is really watery, and this is where the patience comes in. I'm gonna leave it to cook for 20 to 30 minutes. Yes, 20 to 30 minutes depending on how powerful your cooker is. I'm gonna be cooking mine on medium heat, and I'm gonna stir it in as well between this time, just to make sure it's not burning at the bottom. So like I said, depending on how powerful your cooker is, you basically cook the stew until you start noticing changes in the consistency of the stew. The color will start changing, the oil will start floating to the top as well. So this is when I add the seasonings and the salt, and I add the fried meats as well, the pomo and the fried meats, and finally add the remaining palm oil that was saved earlier, and I just cook it for another 10 minutes and your stew is ready.
Tones the big lord.
So buka stew is basically your regular home cooked stew, as you can see from this video, and obviously you can serve it with rice, or you can serve it with my favorite, which is amala and wedu, and maybe some gbegiri, and yeah, you can serve it with a lot actually. Anyway, this is my version of buka stew, quite straightforward in my opinion. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you like it as well. Don't forget to comment and let me know what you think about it, and don't forget to subscribe as well. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.